Is it really true that Penang is the food capital of Malaysia?
We spent a few days eating our way through the island, from Michelin-rated street food to colorful Nyonya cuisine, and of course, Char Kway Teow.
So this is everything we ate here in Penang. Let's check it out.
Let's start the day with a bang with the Malaysian national dish of Nasi Lemak. Unlike the Nasi Lemak you may be used to, served on a plate with peanuts and anchovies and sambal, Michelin Guide rated Nasi Lemak Daun Pisang serve portable banana leaf wrapped pockets of rice served with meat and a heavy ladle of fiery sambal.
Lemak is like a little Illuminati, a little pyramid.
We got a Nasi Lemak topped with squid and one topped with fish, but both yielded the same result. Fountains of sweat running down our faces. Extra seasoning for the Nasi Lemak, I guess. It's simple, affordable, and full of flavor.
These are pretty small dishes, so you might still be hungry despite all that chili. But luckily, this stall is right in the Sri Weld Foodcourt. We treated ourselves to fried cempedak from the stall outside. It's a cousin of jackfruit and has a sweet, almost banana-y mango flavor. There's also a drink stall inside which you'll need to fight off the intense sambal, so we got a couple of iced drinks. A decadent 3-layer tea sweetened with brown sugar syrup, and a unique drink called horkasai, which is basically coffee mixed with Milo. It's basically a dessert. Who doesn't love a good market? It's an incredible way to see a snapshot of a city's food culture, and one of the most popular markets in Penang is the Chowrasta Market. It's a popular morning market that's active from 6 a.m. to the mid-afternoon, full of colorful shops and fresh produce. They also have a bunch of food stalls scattered throughout the market, like Kedai Kopi Baru, a busy kopitiam serving drinks with an array of different food vendors. We got a warming Hokkien-style rice porridge called Kiam Moi, flavored with pork stock, mushrooms, dried shrimp, and topped with fried bread. A super slurpable wonton mee, which are bouncy egg noodles with wontons, and char siu pork in a bed of salty soy sauce. And for a little dessert, a few pieces of apam balik, or a Malaysian pancake with flavors like brown sugar and corn, and pandan. So spongy and fluffy.
When it's hot and humid in the tropics, it may be counterintuitive, but a steamy hot bowl of noodles hits hard in this climate. We got ourselves some bubbling cauldrons from T&T Prawn Mee shop. Hokkien Mee is a popular prawn noodle soup dish you'll find a lot in Penang, but here we decided to try two different versions. A claypot Hokkien Mee cooked fresh and simmered with egg noodles, a deep prawn broth, bits of pork, and a raw egg to mix into the broth. And also a dry version where they intensify the savory seafoody notes into a saucy mixture of dark meat mince, pork lard, dried shrimp, and meatballs that blends into the flat noodles a ton of flavor. I even ordered a hot Penang white coffee to really get that morning sweat on. I mean, ain't nothing better than evaporative cooling to stave off the heat, right? If there is one noodle dish to eat in Penang, it is Char Kway Teow. This stir-fried noodle dish is as ubiquitous to Penang as pizza is to New York, and no one does this dish as explosively as left-handed Char Kway Teow. No, literally.
Light it fire!
The uncle puts in every inch of sweat, blood, tears, and even eyebrows into this flat rice noodle dish with chilies, eggs, bean sprouts, plump prawns, cockles, and a hefty dose of smokiness from the excellent wok hei. It's a simple, savory dish underpinned by a beautiful charred flavor and punctuated by a subtle, spicy kick. Plenty of street vendors sell char kway teow, but none are giving fireworks with their food like this one.
Other than Char Kway Teow, another thing you need to experience is Penang's street food scene. It's truly one of the greatest in the world, with streets coming alive with hawkers selling the best culinary offerings from the island. One of these is the Chulia Street Night Market, a small strip of hawkers amongst the live traffic in the heart of Georgetown, and we're here for another Char Kway Teow at Lebuh Carnarvon Char Kway Teow. Their claim to fame is finishing second in the 2023 Penang Famous Char Kway Teow competition. It's prepared identically directly to the left-handed CKT, but does it hold a candle to the Fire Lord of Char Kway Teow? Not quite, but it is still a decent CKT with a good amount of spice and meat, just slightly less char, but maybe you might prefer that. And across the street is another hawker stall called Mother and Son Wonton Mee. It's pretty hard to miss because they've got two afterburners screeching as it warms a steaming cauldron of broth. They specialize in wonton mee with thin egg noodles tossed in a soy sauce topped with thin slices of char siu, plump wontons, and a good helping of crispy pork lard pieces for extra morishness. This is pure noodle goodness in a bowl and one of our favorite bites in the city. The way the oils and sauce coat the noodles with a glossy sheen that starts to reflect the fluorescent streetlights is a thing of beauty. And don't forget to ask for it spicy to get a dollop of chilies that'll for sure give you a kick in the throat.
Now we ended our Chulia Street hawker adventure with a simple apom. There's an old lady who works the stall pouring batter paper thin onto steel pans as it develops a mottled golden brown skin. There's no filling, just simple wafer goodness, which made for a great light snack to end our night. Another great spot for food is the Cecil Street Food Court. Not only do they have a healthy selection of hawkers, but they also have a full wet market out back, so you can appreciate all the delicious produce Penang has to offer. And within the rows of hawker stalls is Michelin Bib Gourmand awarded Lum Lai Duck Meat Kway Tiao Tang, a stall with frequent lines specializing in a rice noodle soup topped with tender duck, pork, and fish cake. The broth is light but meaty, and the addition of the fried garlic and onions bring a toasty dimension to the clear broth. It also comes with some chili spiked soy sauce to make the broth more exciting if you choose. Ain't nothing like a steamy bowl of noodles to cool down from the heat, am I right? And at the same food court is a stall selling char kway kak. These are chopped up rice cakes tossed with eggs, bean sprouts, soy sauce, and a douse of chili for extra excitement. It results in a savory soy-infused chewy snack that can be addictive to gobble up. I didn't even mind waiting a few minutes in line because I've come to love watching these hawkers display their cooking craft right in front of you. This particular char kway kak was decent, but it could have used a little more char and seasoning, but that wasn't a problem for our next spot.
Another street food hotspot is the Presgrave Street hawker stalls. There's a small but great selection of food stalls here, and one that may catch your eye is Muscle Man Char Kway Kak.
Muscle Man.
Cause damn, I thought this was a street food stall, not a whole gun show. Luckily, Mr. Uncle puts in as much effort chasing those gains as he does pouring his heart and soul into this char kway kak. We chose to add the more decadent duck egg here, and what Muscle Man cooks up is a super snackable dark soy flavored dish with a smokiness and heat to match his chiseled appearance. I love the little bits of preserved radish in here for a little crunch, and we couldn't get enough of this. Across the road from Muscle Man is a stall serving another iconic Penang street food, oyster omelette. This is 3888 fried oyster found just inside 888 Hokkien Mee, which is also another very popular Penang street food spot. The chef tosses in a healthy amount of oysters into a pool of egg, and it gets tossed, turned, and scrambled with spring onions until it browns and crisps up on its edges. What results is a spongy and crispy omelette that surprisingly isn't fishy at all, but has a pleasant meaty bounce from the oysters. This, mixed with sweet chili sauce on top and a pinch of coriander, makes for street food royalty.
Honestly, this soup might have been the best dish we had in our entire trip in Malaysia. This is asam laksa from an unassuming spot called Farlim Shell Station Laksa Cafe. They serve a version of laksa that you may not be as familiar with. Instead of the more popular coconut curry broth, they serve rice noodles in a bubbling broth of tamarind, shrimp paste, and a plethora of aromatics like garlic, shallots, galangal, lemongrass, ginger flower, and topped with poached mackerel to give a sour, fragrant, and fishy soup unlike anything your taste buds have ever experienced.
You know when like someone rips a fat bass solo, yeah, that's how I feel right now. How about this laksa? That was incredible.
This is food worth traveling for, and bonus points for its unassuming location amongst the residential apartments away from the tourist spots. Even our Grab driver was confused why we were going here. This cuisine is so distinctly Penang that you cannot miss out on it when you're here. This is Phang, a restaurant serving Peranakan cuisine, or more commonly known as in Penang, Baba Nonya cuisine. Peranakans are an ethnic group of Chinese settlers who intermarried with local Malays, creating a distinct way of life in food. We tried unique dishes like Kway tea, a bite-sized appetizer of crisp pastry shells filled with vegetables and prawn, nasi ulam, a vibrant rice dish, and I had no idea what to expect here, but it's basically rice mixed with herbs like mint, lemongrass, lime leaves, Thai basil, cilantro, and more. It's like eating a garden, but in the best way possible. We also tried the infamous petai, or more affectionately known as the stink bean. This came mixed with sambal, and if this is indeed an acquired taste, then I've got a lot of acquiring to do.
That or durian?
Durian.
There's a bit of a sulfuric bitterness to this, but luckily the prawns and sambal made it a bit easier to eat for a beginner like me. Good thing the asam tumis ikan pari was divine. It's a sour, spicy, slightly sweet stew made with stingray, and this one's for you, Steve. The broth has a fragrant acidity brought by tamarinds, chilies, mint, and kaffir lime. It paired with the melt-in-your-mouth stingray and okra well, and soaked beautifully into some blue pea rice.
Back onto some Penang street food, and this time we have another Michelin featured stall, Penang famous Samosa. This cornerside stall sells freshly cooked Indian snacks, sweets, and of course, samosas. We got 2 flavors, 1 chicken and 1 mutton. Both flavors were delicious and meaty, but what stood out about these were not only the perfectly light and crispy pastry, but also the generous amount of sweet onions in the filling. Just the right amount of heat and spice with a mellow sweetness that leaves you wanting more. I had a samosa addiction as a child, and this satisfied 11-year-old Aliana big time. Don't let this dish's Wikipedia description as a Malaysian salad fool you. This street food is as decadent as they come. This roadside stall is Kareem Pasembur Rojak that specialize in pasembur, or Malaysian Indian rojak, which consists of shredded vegetables, tofu, and shrimp-filled fritters that are drenched in a sweet chili sauce. It's a dangerous combo of crispy fried seafood flavors mixed with a refreshingly spicy sauce. This is essentially a salad the same way French fries are a vegetable, but I'll take that victory through technicality any day.
When we travel, we tend to crave the familiar comforts of home, and for us, it means finding a great cup of specialty coffee. And here at Constant Gardener Coffee, they've got coffee down to an exact science. I mean, just look at their whiteboard, like they're connecting the dots of a complex conspiracy. And to really test out their coffee skill, I got a specialty coffee taster set, which came with a long black, espresso shot, and a flat white, all made with beans from Ethiopia. Delicious, fruity, and pleasantly bitter. If I wasn't awake before, I am now. And Aliana got a white winter coffee, which was a chilled iced latte with a more concentrated and smooth flavor. The best part about coffee shops like this is that it's a nice break in the AC from the midday heat. Another fantastic cafe is also Roastery and Brew, just near the tourist hotspot of Armenian Street. What sets these guys apart is their selection of specialty coffee and matcha-based drinks. Just like my clarified coffee, which is done with a milk wash technique. It turns into a slightly sweet, velvety drink that gives off coffee mocktail vibe. Meanwhile, Aliana kept it simple with their number 3 matcha latte with a medium level of roasty smokiness and a pleasant bitterness. This is a great place to pass the time after a good dose of sightseeing.
Speaking of sightseeing, you'll probably come across the famous clan jetties of Penang. There are 7 of these heritage jetties, so if you're planning on seeing a few of them, a great place for a mid-jetty snack is this pisang goreng and fritter spot just outside the Tan jetty. They have a few fried goodies to choose from, all freshly prepared and fried out back. We got a Koay bakal, which is sweet potato with a gooey glutinous rice center. Kacang bola, which is a glutinous rice ball stuffed with peanuts. Pisang goreng, of course, or deep fried banana. You can't go wrong with deep frying a banana now. And finally, roti jagung, which is deep fried bread stuffed with corn in the middle. These fritters are great afternoon snacks, and I love how light, crisp, and not greasy the batter feels, so you don't feel sluggish afterwards. One of our favorite genres of Malaysian food is the colorful world of Nonya Kway. And Michelin Bib Gourmand Moteng Piao Nonya Kway is a solid place to get them, and immediately when you walk in here, you're greeted by the staff shaping, mixing, and molding these goodies. Kway are vibrant and colorful bite-sized snacks that are made from everything from glutinous rice, tapioca, cassava, and more. And in this beautiful platter we ordered, we got pulut tai tai, a glutinous rice infused with blue pea and topped with a dollop of a coconutty kaya. Popia chi, a fried thin spring roll filled with jicama. Ketupat, or a beautifully wrapped compressed rice cake with some white beans, which is actually meant to be a side dish to savory dishes like beef rendang. Pulut inti, another blue pea glutinous rice number with coconut caramelized with gula melaka or palm sugar that wasn't too sweet. And finally, my favorite, Sri Muka. I have a love affair with this double layer of glutinous rice at the bottom and a fragrant pandan custard on top. If I had my own country, I might just make this my national flag.
It's dessert time, and there's no better way to cool off from the Malaysian heat than with a bowl of ice-cold Cendol at Penang Road, Nonya Cendol. It's an iconic Malaysian dessert made with shaved ice, coconut milk, pandan jelly, and red beans. In the location of this next spot, there's actually a famous Cendol spot across the road that's been featured in the Michelin Guide with lines for days. But you know what I like to say?
You know what tastes better than a Michelin rating? Zero line. Let's go.
And it's true, just ask this anonymous Google reviewer here who's tried both. Regardless if that's true or not, this Cendol is simple, refreshing, not too sweet, and best enjoyed sitting down, gawking at the people waiting in line as you're already halfway through your Cendol.
If you're looking for a break from the city side of Penang, then head over to Batu Ferringhi Beach. We were here to watch an amazing sunset and fire show with some drinks at Ferringhi Heart Beach Club. We didn't end up eating here, but we just sat down with a couple of drinks as we appreciated the energetic fire show. They usually run the fire shows after sunset with times at 7:30 and 9:30 p.m. So make sure to grab a seat well beforehand to get a good view.
Finally, we've come to the end of our food list, but this might be the ultimate midnight snack. This is NS Nasi Kandar, an institution that's open 24 hours serving Nasi Kandar, where you basically point and choose from an assortment of mostly Indian flavored meats, curries, veggies, and sauces, all topped onto a rice of your choice. We honestly thought coming here at 10:30 p.m. would guarantee a quiet dinner, but oh, we were wrong. This spot was as busy as it got, and be prepared to not only wait in line for a bit, but also to share tables. So we sat down and I got started with a beautifully spiced masala tea and got amongst the action. I topped my Nasi Kandar with plain rice, a succulent and crispy fried chicken, an expertly spiced tender mutton curry, fried egg, shredded cabbage, and of course the classic okra topping. They douse everything in multiple gravies and sauces, and I ain't gonna pretend I know what spices and aromatics go into this. All I know is that it's a flavor bomb and you will enjoy it at any time of the day.
Okay, so that'll do it for our Penang food guide. We hope that you found this list very useful.
And if there is one thing that I have learned here in the past few days in Penang is that we have so much more to eat and explore here. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching another one of our food and travel videos live from Penang, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.